Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. A happier you leads to a healthier you. I'm your host. On my end, y'all know who I am. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode. If you guys want to hear more of the commentary, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification button on YouTube and on my other channels to receive notifications of my videos. If you guys like the commentary on my podcast, please go to Spreaker.com/a happier you leads to a healthier you. And if you want to see all of my podcasts, please go to Spreaker.com/ my name, ASHA.MARIAMA, and you'll receive all of my podcasts as far as Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and many other platforms. Let me first say I am a certified recovery life coach. It's all about helping people on their paths, their journeys, and their purpose to a new and better them through self-discovery. This particular podcast is all about helping people when it comes to overall health and wellness recovery. There are millions of people out here who are suffering from different type of illnesses and different type of diseases that can impact and affect them in the long run. A lot of times we do things and we don't realize that certain things cause us damage, and we never don't even realize it until we get older. A lot of us think that we have all this time in the world to do all of these things, and we keep making all of these mistakes. We keep consuming all of these things that we should not be consuming in the first place, but yet we continue to continue to go through these situations which do nothing but cause more harm than good. So I just wanted to come on here and start with that. Now, today I want to talk about internal health and the importance of your internal health, and how the fact that y'all are so consumed with your external health, you don't understand you're damaging your internal health. Now, while I'm sitting up here doing this, I will be making a fruit salad. So you might hear me moving around a little bit, so please forgive me, but I am making my dinner for the night. Now, for those of y'all who are probably wondering what made me decide to create this channel, is because I myself have been going through medical issues for a number of years. And I have been looking for answers since probably 2005. But 2011 was when I really started looking for answers, when I left my other job at the bowling alley, and I ended up having complications, and I've been looking for answers ever since. I've been to many doctors, and they always told me it was all in my head, that there was nothing wrong. They couldn't find anything. And I'm like, I'm telling you something is wrong, and I'm telling y'all something ain't right, but I'm getting well, maybe it's all in your head. Maybe you should see a shrink. That's what they said to me, to be real. It wasn't until 2022 I started getting a lot of answers. I found out in 2023 that I had scoliosis, which I never knew I had, that one of my legs does not straighten the way it's supposed to be. I found out that I had arthritis through my neck and my whole entire body, pretty much for the most part. I found out that basically I now have a mass in my breast when it comes to my nipple area, and they have to do an x-ray next week on my birthday, on Friday, to see if the mass is either gone away or has it turned into cancer. I also have this other thing that I just found out yesterday that I would like to share with you guys, because I want to bring awareness to it. And I want you guys to understand that this particular situation is not something to play around with. This particular bacteria infection is not something to play around with. So I went to my doctor's office. I had 2 doctor's appointments. The first doctor's appointment, we talked about my pain, my nerves, everything that I was going through with my neck. She gave me gabapentin. Gabapentin does nothing for me It just makes things worse. It was to the point where a few minutes ago, it was like I couldn't hear anything. It was like my hearing was going out. So that was something new. It's just like the gabapentins just don't work for me. I might have to get oxycodone, even though they don't like giving it to people, but that's the only thing that seemed to work, to be honest. But anyway, long story short, she told me that I have to go back in 6 weeks to talk about the gabapentins, but I'm probably gonna call her Monday and tell her that the gabapentins don't do nothing for me. They don't do nothing but make things worse. It helps with the nerve pain, but it doesn't help with pain as far as any other pain. So I be in worse pain than I do when I don't take it. So it's back to square one when it comes to me. So I came to the realization that I've got to make some changes. She did say something about a diet as far as me eating more eating vegetables, which I already do already, and also fruits and vegetables and eating lean meat. That's what I have to eat. So right now I'm making a fruit salad with strawberries, blueberries, mangoes, and some kiwi. If I don't make it and eat it tonight, I will have the stuff prepped for tomorrow. So I'll probably just end up eating some yogurt and probably a bagel, probably. And everything that I bought from the store has no calories or some calories, and it has no sugar or low in sugar, or it has no salt or low in salt, and also low in fat and no cholesterol, and carbs are low. So everything I bought was low in carbs or no carbs at all. Oops. So this particular situation, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do the work as far as doing everything I can to deal with the arthritis and deal with the chronic pain that I'm currently dealing with. So I'm going to do the work that it's going to take to make it happen. Well, anyway, the next thing that happened was I ended up going to doing a telehealth with my second doctor, which was the gastrologist that did my colonoscopy. Well, she told me flat out that I have a condition that the inflammation has caused damage to my stomach. And so far it's just damage to my stomach. It's not like where right now it's cancerous, but it can be cancerous. So she told me that again, like the other doctor, I have to change my diet. I have to try to don't eat anything past 7 o'clock, which I tried to do today, but that just did not happen. So as long as I don't eat past 8, I should be good. But because this salad is not going to be done in time, I'm just going to go ahead and cut everything up and make it tomorrow. And then just, I probably just have something kind of like I can eat ice cream or something like that. And the ice cream I have has no sugar and it's low in carbs. So I'll probably just eat that. I'll figure something out that I can eat before I go to bed. So I'm definitely going to bed early. That's one of the things I did say I was going to do, start going to bed early. But let's talk about this particular condition that I have. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show y'all this condition that I have and the information about it. And the reason I'm sharing this is because there are other people that could be going through the same thing that I am going through, which is the reason why I shared it in the first place, is because I want to help other people going through medical conditions that's going through the same thing, as far as not having any answers, going to multiple doctors and nobody's telling you how they can help you, how they can make things better. They have an issue with holistic treatment. You have 2 female doctors that found out as far as a cure for cancer, and they still won't make it FDA approved. There was a young man that found, and I mean, he was on the age of 18, that found a cure for cancer. Still can't use it because they don't want to allow us to use it. So we can't. So now millions of people are losing their lives due to cancer when there are cures out there that can help them. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother godforsaken day. But let me share my screen so I can show y'all this condition, and we're going to go over it and talk about it because I want to bring awareness to it, because this condition can cause cancer. If you don't treat it in time, it can lead to cancer. And also, the reason I want to discuss it is because of the simple fact there are millions of people that are obese in the United States of America. There are millions of people that are eating a lot of fast food, processed foods, eating foods that are not healthy for them in any way, shape, form, or capacity. So I want to bring awareness to this. So let me share my screen. And sorry about a little earlier. I had technical difficulties. I was trying to set up my podcast and I ended up pressing the live stream. So sorry about that. But let me share my screen. Okay, this is what I have currently. This is H pylori. It is a helicombative pyro. Is a type of bacteria that infects your stomach. This causes soreness and inflammation in the lining of your stomach or upper part of your small intestines. For some people, the infection can lead to stomach cancer. Let me go back down, sorry. Infections with H. pylori is common. About 2/3 of the world's population has it in their bodies. For most people, it never causes any symptoms, but it's most common cause of petrol ulcers, which are painful, open sores in your digestive tract, and rare cases even can lead to stomach cancer. How do you get H. pylori? Bacteria usually spreads from person to person and likely through dirty food, water, utensils, mouth to mouth kissing, contaminated poop, or vomiting. Once H. pylori enters your body, it multiplies in the lining of your stomach. This weakens the lining and makes it more likely that your stomach's acids will cause an ulcer. Is H. pylori contagious? Yes, you can get H. pylori if you have contact with saliva or other body fluids of someone who already has the infection. So yes, this is contagious. So you can get this from food that you get from someone else's house. So for example, if you go over somebody's house and they're not clean, and they didn't clean the chicken before they cooked it, that can be a cause of it. It can also be if you go to a restaurant and a lot of processed foods, that can be also an issue as well. So if you eat, like for example, these strawberries and these blueberries, and the reason I'm going to do these tomorrow, because I'm about to put some water and some baking powder in, or baking soda in this. So basically it will clean my vegetables, and I'm going to put them in there tomorrow when I get up, right before I get ready to use them. Maybe about 2 o'clock, I'll go in there and I'll put the baking powder or baking soda on the actual vegetables and or the actual fruit, and it will clean out parasites. Now, parasites also can cause this as well. So, but yeah, kissing and all of that, when you're kissing someone and they're not clean, in other words, they ain't brushed their teeth or they have an infection in the mouth, that could be a cause of it as well. It can also be when you don't wash your hands. It can be a cause of that as well after you use the restroom or after before you get ready to cook. H. pylori risk factors. Most people get H. pylori during childhood, but adults can get it too. The infections are often related to living conditions, which it can be a crowded living room conditions, lack of clean water or sewer service, living in close quarters with someone who is infected, living in developing countries. So the symptoms of having this bacteria does not cause symptoms. You'll probably notice them if you get inflammation, gastritis, or pepto ulcers due to pylori. The most common issue is dull or burning pains in your belly. You may they may come and go, may worsen when your stomach is empty. You may feel better when after you eat, drink milk, or take an acids, which is my situation right now. Um, Symptoms also include bloating, burping, no appetite, nausea, vomiting, weight loss for no clear reason. What does pylori poop look like? It's will have a normal looking poop, but if it looks dark black or tarry, or has blood, then call your doctor right away. So this is just a lot of information that will help you. So if the peptic ulcers get worse, then if it looks like it's bloody, red, dark red or black poop, trouble breathing, um, dizziness or fainting, pale skin, vomiting that is bloody, black, or looks like coffee grinds, serious, sharp stomach pains, then you need to go to the emergency room. Now, it also says that you also have the nausea, um, full after you eat small amounts, black poop. So when it comes down to them figuring out how you have it, it's going to be a colonoscopy is how they're going to figure out how you have it, and they're going to test and take samples. Sometimes they'll make you blow in a actual bag to see if it's gone or not. So this is just some information that they tell. This is how they test it. Like I said, a breathing test, testing your poop. You're having the upper gastroenopathy. That's what I had. And I had an upper GI test as well. So this is how they found out that I had it. Also, x-rays can be used as well. When it comes to treatment, it's going to be triple therapy, and it's PPL, which is two antibiotics remain the first line option of treatment. Antibiotics, you have a proton pump inhaler, and then you have this thing down here. So this is just how they go about treating it. These are a couple of different things also they'll use as well to treat it. So this is what I have currently. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I don't wish this on nobody. I really don't. But I want to put it out there because a lot of y'all don't even understand. For some of you, you may have this and don't even know you have it. And you really can't get a colonoscopy until you turn about 40 years old. I think that's when you can get your first colonoscopy. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 40. But I think it should be younger based upon need. I think that people should get a colonoscopy every couple of years. And I think it should be over, under the age of 50 or 40. I think people should be getting colonoscopies if they're having stomach issues, because I think it's important, because by catching this early, it will help a lot of people from dying from these particular type of bacterias. But the reason why your internal health is so important is because what you consume in your body, what you choose to intake, can make or break you when it comes to your physical health, because your internal health determines how your external health is going to be. So every choice, decision, action, and behavior that you do has consequences and repercussions and karma to it. So, I just feel like by me sharing my story of what I'm currently going through will help a lot of people when it comes down to this particular situation. So if you're having a lot of acid reflux, what I would recommend is getting some type of famotidine, getting some type of anti-acids. You can get it over the counter, or the doctor can prescribe it depending on how bad it is. If it's really, really bad, then more than likely the doctor's going to prescribe you a higher dosage than what you would get in the store. Another thing you want to do when it comes to inflammation, and let me type in some anti-inflammatory things you can eat. Because for those of y'all that have inflammation, you definitely don't need to be eating certain foods. So let's start with the things that are bad for you that you shouldn't be eating. Let's start there. So let's look for inflammation foods that are inflammation foods. And these are foods that you should not be eating at all. So let's start with these. So let's start with what inflammation is. So let me share my screen and we're going to talk about what inflammation is before we get into the foods. Okay, inflammation is a part of a process which the immune system defends the body from harmful agents such as bacteria and viruses. Acute inflammation is triggered by injury, infection, or exposure to substances and presents itself as pain, redness, swelling, loss of function, and heat. Now, how do you get inflammation in the body? Well, how do you get rid of it? You have to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. Choose high fiber carbohydrates. Eat more fiber. Choose plant-based or leaner animal protein sources. Be conscious of your fat sources. Reduce the omega-6 and omega-3 rations in the diet. Reduce sugar intake. Limit and avoid alcohol. Those are just some of the things. So when it comes down to getting rid of it, that means all that processed food you're gonna have to stop eating because you're not gonna be able to eat it no more. You're not gonna be able to eat a lot of like pork. That's not gonna work for you unless it's lean pork. But I don't even recommend pork because pork, how that go with pork. Sometimes even with red meat's not good for you either. So what triggers inflammation? Pathogens, germs like bacteria, viruses, and fungi, external illness such as scrapes or damage to the foreign object. For example, a torn in your fingers or a thorn in your fingers, effect of chemicals or radiation. So there are a lot of chemicals and radiation in our foods. So that is definitely something that is definitely true. So that's just some of the things that cause it. Now, what can you drink to reduce inflammation? Baking soda, water, parsley, ginger, and green juice, lemon and turmeric tonics. Bone broth is a really good one. Functional food smoothies, matcha, anti-inflammatory tonics, and greens and berry smoothies. That's what you can drink that will help. So when I went to the grocery store and I went to Walmart, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at detox teas. I got this one tea that I'm trying for 30 days. I drink it once a day, mainly in the morning, or I can drink it at night before I go to bed, whichever one I choose. But more than likely, I'll probably do it before I go to bed, so that way it will cleanse my system before I go to bed. Or you can do it first thing in the morning. Now, mind you, it's gonna make you go to the bathroom, but it also helps with weight loss. But it also helps as far as cleansing out all of the things that's causing your body to not be able to go to the bathroom like you're supposed to. It definitely will help when it comes to losing weight, because the best way to lose weight is naturally, meaning changing your diet and eating things that's going to be healthy. Because once you eat healthy and you have this healthy lifestyle and you remove your stress to the best of your abilities, it's going to be so much better, because then you'll be able to, tone down when it comes to, you know, getting better as far as your weight is concerned. And then the problem is there are a lot of people that sit up here and they lose the weight. But then what's even more funny about it, they'll go right back and gain the weight back some months later because they can't maintain the weight. So I don't want nobody thinking that it's just about losing weight. It's also about maintaining weight. So right now what I'm doing is I'm taking some blueberries and I am putting them in a bowl because I'm getting ready to make this salad for tomorrow. I don't think the bowl is going to be big enough, but I'm also going to save some for me just in case I just want some. So that's good on that. So now what I'm getting ready to do is do the kiwi, and then I also have some avocados as well that I'm adding to this as well. So I'm cutting the avocados. I'm probably just going to eat by themselves. I might just eat them by themselves. I don't know yet. So now I got some kiwis that I'm getting ready to cut up and put in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak them in baking soda or baking powder, and then go from there. So I'm hoping these are going to be okay because apparently the person that brought these from Walmart did not look at these because one of these is bad. So I'm hoping the rest of these are not going to be bad. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So let's go back to this conversation. What are the 5 signs of inflammation? Based on visual observation and the ancient characters, inflammation is characterized by 5 cardinal signs: redness, swelling, tumors, heat, body extremities, pain, loss of function. So those are just a few things that can cause inflammation. What fluids can flush out inflammation? Olive oil, tomatoes, green leaf vegetables such as spinach, kale, and collards, nuts like almonds and walnut, fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, tuna, and sardines, fruits such as strawberries, blueberries, cherries, and oranges, which is what I'm cutting up now. So these are just some of the ones. So we're going to get into foods now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into inflammation foods. So we're going to go into that. So we're gonna also go in these inflammation foods that are bad for you. So I'm gonna have to go to the images. Now we're gonna go into some of these foods that are good for you and the ones that are not good for you. So let me find one that has both of them. There's normally a long list. So I can't really see that one. Let me find one that's a little bit better. So they have, okay, here's one right here. All right, so this right here is the anti-inflammatory. So let's look at the pro-inflammation. Let's look at the pro-inflammation. So oops, I'm just typing it wrong here. So let's look at the pro-inflammation. All right. This is some of the foods that are actually bad for you. They probably just did the same thing, but I'm just going to go here. Now, this is the anti-inflammatory foods, which is cold water fish, salmon, tuna, fish oil supplements, flax oil, flax seeds grounded, olive oils, nuts, spice, turmeric, curry, ginger, cinnamon, sweet potatoes, chili peppers, lentils, onions, green tea, grain meats. I have to figure out what that is. Vegetables, garlic, lemon, and lime juice. Fruits like blueberries, pomegranate, papayas, apricots, cherries, peak grapefruits, and grapes. Okay, pro-inflammation inflammatory foods. It can be animal fats, feed-up animals, sunflower and corn oil, safer oils, soybean oil, French fries, fried food, most salad dressings, fast food meals, which I agree, hypodegenerate oils, sweetener beverages, most margarines, most shorteners, and high fructose syrup. Now, that's just some of them. That ain't all of them. Let's continue on. Let's see what else they got. Let's look at the list. The lists are a lot easier. All right, so now we have this list here, which is the anti versus the pro-inflammation foods. So you have broccoli, cabbage, red cabbage, avocados, olives, strawberries, blueberries, cherry, turmeric, ginger, hemp seeds, oranges, almonds, walnuts, leeks, tomatoes, oily fish, pickles, parsley. I'm trying to see. So dark greens, dark leafy greens, radishes, carrots, onions, garlic, and the pro-inflammation, sugar, high fructose, starch-based sugar, sweeteners, gluten, grains, alcohol, dairy products, soy products, peanuts, fries, trans fats, vegetable oils, salmon, sausages, like processed meat, refined flour and sugar, carbohydrates, sugar, and added soft drinks, sodas, synthetic food dyes, fats, margarine saturated with hydrogen, and industry animal food. So there you go. Now y'all start to get it now. Now you get it. So now I'm just telling you what I know. These may not be no good. There'll be some. This person brought me some godforsaken bad. Ugh. They bought me some bad fruit. And I feel some type of way. Not all of them bad, but just some of them. Yeah, some of these are pretty good. Some of these are not. So these are just some of the things you need to stay away from. And I mean, I don't care if you're the healthiest person or not. You need to stay away from these foods because they're bad for you and they're not going to be good for you and they're going to mess around and make you sick. And, you know, and when you're younger, you think you're invincible, like you're not touchable. Trust me when I tell you, you are absolutely touchable. So don't think for a moment you're not touchable. So I would always find a list of foods. So some of these things have high in fiber. For example, I did find a bread that is high in fiber that I can eat. And I did buy it. It was like $5 and some change, but it was worth it because it was definitely something that I could eat. And it is high in carbs. It has no sugar. And like this here, this is another example of things as far as fruits, vegetables, nuts, produce, fats, and other. So another thing that's actually good for you that a lot of y'all don't like is beans. Beans are definitely absolutely good for you. And they're good, like lentils are good. There are certain beans that are absolutely phenomenal when it comes to your health and wellness. Definitely so. So I just want people to understand that, you know, if I had known then what I know now, because my doctor did tell me about the fact of certain foods I wasn't allowed to eat, and I kept eating them anyway. I didn't listen, and I should have. So this falls on me. I have to take accountability for the fact I allowed this to happen. So I just wanted to show y'all just some of these things. But it's important to research before you make any decisions as far as what you're going to consume and what you're going to acknowledge, because you never know how certain things are going to impact you. What worked for one person does not work for everybody. So that's why I tell people we are individuals, because we all do things very differently. And just because we all are human beings, it doesn't mean that our journeys and our roads are going to be the same, because they're not. They're going to be very different. So what works for one person may not work for someone else. Like you might have one person that might be married and might have a great relationship. And then again, you might have another person that may not be the place. You might have one person that might be allergic to seafood, and you might have another person that may not be. You might have one person that might be able to have kids, and one person that, in all honesty, may not be able to have children. So again, what works for one does not always work for everybody. And it's okay if it don't work for you. It just means it's not your time. So you might have some people that can lose weight very, very easily without no problem. And then there are other people that, truthfully speaking, cannot. It's going to take a little time for them to be able to lose weight. And it's not going to be a very easy journey for them. You might have some people that can be able to, be able to go bunny jumping and doing all of that. And you might have another person that might be scared to death. So again, we're all individuals, even though people say, oh, we're all the same. No, we're not. We're not all the same. Our bodies may function the same, but because of our choices, decisions, actions, and behavior can damage all of that. So even though you may have one person that might be able to handle going to jail, you might have another person that may not be able to handle going to jail. I'm just saying. So what works for one does not work for everybody. It don't. Even though we should be one for all and all for one, it doesn't mean we are. It doesn't mean that your health is going to be the same. You might have some people that might have, a situation like somebody I know. I just found out they had, a stroke in the brain, which is like really scary. I'm hoping and praying to God that she make it, because like I said, she's such a good person. And it's amazing how some of the goodest people are the people that are losing their lives. But yet you got people that's losing their lives to domestic violence. You got people losing their lives to crime. You got people losing their lives based upon human trafficking. You got people that are losing their lives so senselessly. But yet you got people that got health issues that are going through the worst of the worst, and yet they're still surviving through it. But yet you got people that can't even handle a heartbreak. But you got people that got tumors and cancer and leukemia and all of these other things going on, and yet they're surviving. And yet, despite what they're going through, they still have a positive attitude. They're not worried about being married. They're not worried about no relationship. They're not worried about none of that stuff. The only thing they're worried about is the fact that they're living another day. But yet you got people that are more worried about somebody else and more worried about this Diddy and Cassie situation than they are their own godforsaken business. So, like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not thrilled about what Cassie has went through, and I'm not happy about it, but it's not my situation, and there's not really much I can do about it. At the end of the day, like I said, when it comes down to your overall health and wellness, it is important that you protect your health and wellness. Nobody should be putting their hands on you. Nobody should be verbally or mentally or psychologically abusing you. They shouldn't be in no capacity. And you have to learn, instead of jumping from one situation from another, take your time and think about the fact that you dodged the bullets. Some of y'all dodged some bullets, and you may not be thankful about that, but if I were you, I would be. Because there are other people right now that are dating the same people that you didn't choose, that are going through domestic violence and going through way worse than you could ever imagine. And then when something happened to that person, you be like, oh my God, I realized I dodged a bullet. You certainly did. You dodged the bullet not dating that person. You really did. You dodged a bullet, to be honest. So be thankful that you dodged that bullet. Be thankful that you did not end up in that situation because it could have been you. How many women who sat there and talked about Cassie when Cassie was with Diddy and when Kim Porter and all of them was with Diddy are now looking at it like, oh my God, I dodged the bullet. So, like I said, a lot of y'all priorities are wrong on so many levels. It really is. It's wrong. I am not worried about looking like society standards. I certainly am not worried about the fact that I'm not a millionaire. I'm not worried about the fact that I'm not married, nor will I ever. I don't even think I ever will be married. I'm not even worried about what somebody else got. I'm only worried about my overall health and wellness. That's all I care about. All I care about is trying to get through the situation I am currently dealing with and doing the best I can to get through it. That's about it. And if my journey helps you with yours, then I've done something right and I've done the right thing, because I have people now reaching out to me that have tumors. I had this one young lady, she reached out to me on TikTok. She said she had a tumor. And I said, I'm going through what I'm going through, and you're going through worse than what I'm dealing with. I said, I'm more concerned about you than I am about myself, because I hate to see good people, especially even children, going through cancer that is so can be prevented. It can be prevented. Now, it could be prevented if the government would stop giving us bad food. Then it could be prevented. If the government would stop allowing these companies to put out stuff that's unaliving people, that's hurting people's stomachs, because you can't tell me that a part of this is not because of chemicals. Can't tell me that. Can't tell me that a lot of this is not because of the food, trying to keep food as long as they can. No, you can't tell me that. You can't sit here and tell me that. That would be a both lie. At the end of the day, it is sad that the United States is the worst when it comes to food. And over 160 countries will never accept American food. Ever. Ever, ever, never, ever. Would they accept it? Some people have to go out of the country just to get some type of treatment for cancer. A friend of mine, he did a show in Mexico where the people there have treated people to the point they're cancer free by the time they get here. They're literally, their cancer is literally gone. And I'm not talking about in remission, it's gone completely. But yet the United States don't want people to know about these particular places because they don't want people going to get treatment. It's sad. It's sad what's going on right now. It really is. Because like I said, for me, I try to eat healthy. I try to do what's right as far as being healthy. So, it is what it is. But y'all, I'm going to show y'all my nice little fruit thing that I made. So I'm just going to show myself for a minute. This is my kiwis, my strawberries, and my grapes. So y'all seeing me for a second. This is what my fruit salad is going to consist of. And also I can eat this just because. I also have my nice little, raspberry dressing. And this is 30. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. It's 30 calories. It's 1 gram of fat, no trans fat, no cholesterol. Sodium is 10%. Carbs is 6 grams. No fiber, and it has maybe 5 grams of sugar, protein. So I won't use very much of this, to be honest. I will only use a little bit of this, not much, because of the fact of the sugar intake. But it's not a lot of sugar in here, which is a good thing. So if you do get dressings and you have stomach issues, just make sure you don't use a lot of it. Just use enough to where you can use it. But this is light, meaning it is light. So this is a light brand. So this is a good thing. I also got some avocado as well, so I can use that or ranch. It just depends on how I feel. So I also have, of course, some avocados here, and I'm about to cut one of these, and I might end up eating one of those. And then I also went and got me some big old gigantic mangoes here. So all of this is helping me on my journey of my health and wellness. So I still got some blueberries left, so I might end up eating a little bit of these blueberries, and I might just eat those because I may not have time because I don't want to eat nothing too heavy. So I might. I'm glad I prepped this. So what I would do with this, I would take some baking powder, sprinkle in here, put some water in here, and let it soak. And I would let it soak for like 10, maybe about 10, 15 minutes. And do that probably before you get ready to actually use it. Because that way, what it does, it will clean out all of your stuff. I also have a salad thing that I use and I clean it out as well. So even with your salad, you can do the same with your lettuce and even with your, I also have spinach here. And this spinach is also good for your anti-inflammatory. So this is definitely good. So I got some of that. So even if I do decide to make a small salad, which I probably might, because I do have enough time. So I also have my nice little mangoes. I'm just not gonna cut these up today. I was, but I'm not going to. I probably just eat them by themselves. But since I do have an avocado, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that up and use that. That is the goal here. So like I said, at the end of the day, when it comes to your health and wellness, your internal health is way more important than your external health. So I just wanted to tell my story because I wanted people to hopefully take their internal health a whole lot more seriously than what they do. Y'all need to stop allowing people to do negative things to you and hurting you because that's definitely not a good look. Now with the avocado, I'm gonna cut it, and what I'm gonna do is go ahead and make it since it's like I think it's like 8:03. So I'm just gonna eat some avocado. That's the only thing I'm gonna eat. Probably some avocados and blueberries. That's probably be the only thing I eat. I'm just trying to make sure I don't cut myself. Cause one thing about an avocado, it can be funny. Cause avocados are very funny when you cut them. They're very, very, very funny. Especially if they're entirely too ripe. They can be very funny. So like I said, I get it for some of y'all. You know, some of y'all think, "Oh, I'm small, nothing gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna go through what you're going through." But honey, you got a lot of people that got stomach issues that are actually smaller than me. You have a lot of people that because of their drinking and other things, they have completely and utterly messed up their bodies. So yes, it can happen to even some of the best of us. For real, it can happen to anybody. So don't say that something can't happen to you because you're small. And I don't even know why people think that because they're smaller that they can't go through something. That to me is absolutely ridiculous because you can go through something. I don't know why people think they can't go through something. I hate trying to find where the okay, now I can't find where I cut it at. Okay, I think I see it. So yeah, everybody thinks they can't go through something because they're smaller, or they think, "Oh, I'm small. I ain't never gonna go through that. I ain't never gonna have to deal with that." Okay, you ain't never gonna have to deal with it. And then when you do, then all of a sudden you're like, "How in the world did this happen to me? I always went to the gym. I always worked out." Yeah, you certainly did, but that don't mean you didn't drink. That don't mean you didn't have sex. That don't mean nothing, honestly. Okay, what I'm gonna have to do, it's a little too hard. I can't cut my poor little avocado. It's entirely too hard. So I'm going to put it back and let it wait until it gets there. So, like I said, for a lot of y'all, you think because you're small, you think because you got a banging body, you go to the gym, you work out, that nothing can happen to you, that you're never going to go through any health issues, which is a lie. I don't care if somebody's small or big. There are people that are 110 pounds that have diabetes. There are people that have Alzheimer's in their 60s and dementia. There have people that have STDs, HIV, that have Crohn's disease, chronic pain, and y'all think that health discriminates. Health does not discriminate in any capacity. It doesn't. It doesn't discriminate at all. So for those of y'all who think that it does, then you have no idea what you're talking about. Because the majority of y'all do not understand that when it comes to your health and wellness, and when it comes to germs, and when it comes to bacteria infections, when it comes to diseases, when it comes to illnesses, it doesn't discriminate. It really don't. It don't discriminate at all. So for those of y'all who think it does, think again. You are not better than me because you go to the gym, especially if you're an alcoholic, especially if you've been drinking, especially when you're having sex unprotected, especially when your body count is extremely high. So you're not going to tell me that you're better than me because you decided that you wanted to, you go to the gym every day. It doesn't mean that you don't have mental health issues. Doesn't mean you don't have psychological health issues. Doesn't mean that you don't have emotional issues or any type of emotional intelligence. It does not mean that you, when it comes to morals, values, principles, and ethics, critical thinking, common sense, and common judgment, when it comes to pros and cons, and when it comes to the consequences and repercussions of your actions that affect and impact other people, does not make you better than me. There are some people that even if they want to lose weight, cannot lose weight because they have other issues going on, like thyroids, fibroids. It could be stomach issues like the one I got right now. That's why I'm bringing awareness to this, because this could be another reason why you're having trouble losing weight. Your digestive system may be damaged and need to be repaired, and you may have to have a colonoscopy done. So for a lot of y'all to sit up here and talk about overweight people not understanding what their struggle is, but yet and still, when you have cancer, you want people to feel sorry for you. So it's not an exterior issue, it's an internal issue. Now, for some people like myself, that we don't eat and eat and eat and eat and eat like that. We don't. But yet we continue to not lose weight. And then you find out the reason you're not losing weight is because the foods you're eating that you never knew were bad for you because you thought they were good for you is actually making you sick. And then let's not forget about the chemicals and everything that's going on as far as food to basically make food last longer. So you don't know what you're being infected with. So the fact that y'all think you're better because of the fact that you think you're better because of the fact you're smaller does not make you better. Okay? It absolutely does not. It does not make you better in any capacity whatsoever. It just does not. So just because you may think that you're better, just because you may think that you have everything together, it doesn't mean that you do. It's called smoke and mirrors. It's called sirens. It's called the lying phase. So I don't judge people based on the external part of themselves. I judge people on the internal part of themselves. That's what I judge people on. So y'all, I am about to go and make this salad because I am going to go ahead and eat, because I do need to eat something before I go to bed. I'm just not going to lay down for 30 minutes. So when you eat, don't lay down. Wait about 30 minutes. That's why I said I'm probably going to eat this salad. I'm going to go ahead and make it, for the rest of it in the refrigerator. I'm going to rinse off the fruit first and stick them in there so that way they'll be clean. But they look good. Look healthy. It tastes good. So yeah, I'm gonna take some water and some baking powder, baking soda, put a little bit in there, and sprinkle it on top, and do it. Let it sit for 10 minutes, and then rinse it out. I might put some in a bowl, a bigger bowl than the one I got it in, just so it can, and then rinse it out, and then go from there. So that being said, I thank you guys for joining me for this episode. I really appreciate y'all. Without y'all, there is no me. I'd be absolutely nothing without y'all. I appreciate y'all on my podcast for supporting me. It really means a lot. Y'all been holding me down since I've been gone. I'm back now. I missed 4 episodes, but that's okay because I'm going to make up for those this week. So that being said, I appreciate y'all. I hope this information helps any of you that's going through stomach issues. Please do not put it off. Don't think because you have an upset stomach that it's nothing. It can be something. Don't put that off. If there is something wrong with you, do not put it off. Do not act like it doesn't exist, because it does. If you guys have anything as far as like Dear Abby letters you want to send me, as far as anything you would like me to talk about, that you would like me to research, I'll be more than happy to. If you want to tell your story because you want the world to know about certain conditions that a lot of people don't know about, then I'm happy to basically read them. If you want one-on-one coaching, as far as coaching you through, helping you through recovery when it comes to these conditions, I'm more than happy to. You can email me at asha.mariama01 It's asha.mariama01 So y'all can email me there and we can have a conversation. If you're someone that's interested in coming on to my podcast to be a guest, or on my YouTube channel to be a guest, then please email me there as well. So I'm about to make something to eat, and then I'm gonna lay down about 9 o'clock because I have to get up really, really early. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my videos. For those of y'all on my podcast, I go live every day at 3 and 6 o'clock. If something happens to where I can't, then I will send an email out prior to. And if you subscribe to the channel of the actual podcast, you'll know when I go live. So you'll get a notification when I go live. I'm so happy that my podcast is on Spotify. I'm happy that my podcast is now on iHeartRadio. And it really means a lot. But I got to talk to some people because I got some people wanting me to do advertisement. The problem is I can't get into the thing to accept it. So I gotta email somebody, tell them I changed my email address. So hopefully I'll be able to get to them and let them know. So that being said, thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, y'all have no idea how much I appreciate y'all. But just keep me in your prayers. I will be documenting my journey as far as everything I'm eating. Eating like tonight, I will, starting tomorrow, I will be documenting everything that I'm eating, how much sleep I'm getting. I'll be documenting what medications I take, exercising, coming up with a regimen. I bought a treadmill, I bought a stepper. So I definitely have been doing that, and I'm really excited about that. And then I also went and got a, treadmill as well. Think about getting a squat machine. Um, I'm also, like I said, trying to do the right thing as far as doing what's best. So I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I might just eat some yogurt. I got some yogurt in there. I can eat that. And I'm probably just gonna eat some yogurt and some blueberries. I'm not gonna eat much because, like I said, this journey is something that's important. I would rather, just wait till tomorrow. Then again, I might eat the salad because, like I said, it ain't gonna take me long to make it. All I gotta do is add the spinach and rinse off my vegetables, and then we should be good. So I'm gonna rinse them off and some water for the night anyway. And but the only thing about with kiwi, I don't know if you can do that, but we'll see. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. So with that being said, y'all guys have a very lovely night, and I will see you guys until next time, next week, same time, well, different time and different place. I'll see y'all later. Bye.